There was another unionization story that I have here real quick, that Loma Linda University medical residents are voting yes on a union. So unionization is happening across all different industries and different types of workers that people hadn't even really thought about unionizing before. And that's something else that I wanted to point out as a part of this story. That they won after years of hard work. They finally did it. All right. That in the culmination of a months-long organizing effort, resident physicians at Loma Linda University Health, that's LLUH, and that which they say throughout the rest of the thing, they voted to unionize on June 22nd. And that historic vote is the latest chapter in the most prominent recent showdown between a Seventh-day Adventist healthcare institution and organized labor. So we talked about the nurses at Ascension. Here's another one at Loma Linda University. Again, using the religious nonprofit. According to the NLRB, the final margin was 361 in favor and 144 against. Approximately 2/3 of the 805 eligible resident physicians submitted a ballot. So after years of hard work, they finally did it. That's awesome. So the outcome is not yet certified and is subject to review, including in federal court. And you can be sure that Loma Linda and the Seventh-day Adventists will try to stall and drag and do all the union busting tactics that everybody else does, and likely challenge that as well. Let's see. Organizers first collected enough signatures, so they have to do cards and collect cards in February. But LLUH, like I said, challenged the effort in court and in NLRB proceedings. Throughout a 12-day hearing in March and April, they made their case to the NLRB that that medical residents are students rather than employees, and that as a religious education institution, it can't be forced to negotiate with a union. Is that like how they had to throw out the money changers from the church? Is that literally what they're saying here? Wow.
Maybe.
In a separate lawsuit against the NLRB, beginning in federal district court and later appealed to the Court of Appeals of the DC Circuit Court, LLUH made similar arguments, but on May 25th, a panel of 3 judges denied their request for an emergency injunction and expedited appeal. With the court declining to intervene, the union vote was set to continue. So that's from Portside, also a good outlet. During the lead up to the election, LLUH continued to try and convince residents to vote no. And they said that voting for the union is a yes vote to giving away your voice to a union with no experience dealing with private religious educational institutions. That's what one union busting brochure said. Right, quote, are you leaving a legacy or years of legal issues? Wow. Interviews with Spectrum, who picked this up via Portside, or who Portside picked this up from, right? Residents in favor of unionization have cited long hours, poor working conditions, and low pay as motivating factors. LLUH increased the benefits package for residents in early this year, which is a move that some have said was too little too late. Literally too little, and definitely too late. Their religious status has also been a key element of the labor hearings and court cases. The institution cited writings by Ellen White against unions and elicited testimony from the Adventist leaders about the church's historical anti-union stance. Why? The union countered...
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yep. The union countered that medical residency programs don't require participants to be members of the Adventist church or promote any specific Adventist teachings. Okay, so then why do they get nonprofit status then? According to one document shared during the NLRB hearing, less than 20% of the approximately 800 residents are Adventist. I'm not surprised. Are there 800 resident Adventist residents across the entire country? I would guess probably not. Maybe in a country of 300 million, but I don't know. A corporate restructuring in 2012 has factored into these arguments. The Loma Linda University Health Education Consortium, this is where it gets really legal and businessy, and I don't want to get into all this, but they formed a separate legal entity from the medical center and the rest of the university. right? So past legal cases have granted stronger religious freedom claims to educational institutions rather than healthcare facilities. So this now is its own, a health education consortium. So yeah, it's now considered like an educational institution. So that's one of the reasons why they separate that, is so they can get away with that nonsense.
We gotta keep them separated.
Man, so this month, 2,500 residents and fellows at Mass General Brigham, which is one of the largest programs, voted to form a union also. That's awesome. 10,000 members in the last 2 years have been added to the Committee of Interns and Residents, which is the largest resident union in the United States. So again, we've got medical residents organizing. We've got farmers market workers organizing. We've got nurses that are already organized that are walking out and starting to really demand change from their employers. And I think they're going to get it. I mean, unless those hospitals can find a way to hire scabs, they're going to get it. Because where else are they going to get these qualified nurses? They need to provide care. And the good thing, actually, in this case, for capitalism, is that these are for-profit corporations, and that all these executives want to retain their jobs. And if people aren't working and the company's not making money, guess what? They're going to end up losing their jobs in the end. So they've got to get this fixed.